While he's called Spider-Man or the Ukrainian equivalent of Usain Bolt for his phenomenal ability to climb up a wall, he's an ordinary guy from Donetsk with an unusual life story. He was given the opportunity to engage in popular and commercial sports, but he turned down the offer and instead chose rock climbing to take him to unprecedented heights. Meet the world champion and world record holder in speed rock climbing, Danylo Boldyrev. Zodiac sign, Taurus. Eye color. It changes, but perhaps blue. Favorite season. I love all the seasons, but summer most of all. Favorite drink. Water. Favorite film. Every Sunday. Favorite music. I like all music that arouses all the best in me. Favorite book. Deception Point by Dan Brown. Favorite actor. Gerard Butler. Favorite actress. Jennifer Aniston. Hobby. Cars. It seems that he does not just climb up a wall, but flies up to the top. That's why he's compared to Jamaican sprinter Usain Bolt, the fastest person on the planet. So the words fast as a lightning bolt are very apropos. I can say that it's flattering, as he is a great athlete and is one of a kind in 100 years. I am thrilled that I have been compared to him, because I also set the world record in the World Championship finals, not in the qualification round and not in the semi-final. In other words, I managed to show my athletic abilities in the most crucial moment in the career of any athlete. But first of all, I want to remain who I am, and that the name Danylo Boldyrev goes down in history of speed rock climbing. Danylo Boldyrev began to develop his speed rock climbing skills long ago. In 2014, he set the world record climbing a 15-meter wall in just 6 seconds. Then he became world champion in Spain and set a new record, 5.6 seconds. Boldyrev participated in the World Games twice. It's a competition for non-Olympic sports. Twice he was the main contender for the title, but he stumbled twice. In 2013, in Cali, Colombia, he took 4th place, and in 2017 in Wrocław, Poland, he won a silver medal. Today we race at very high speeds, and of course all racers are trying to make a lightning fast start, because 1/100th of a second can help you get the checkered flag when crossing the finish line. But I had a reserve and I was the favorite winner. From the perspective of the training process, I overlooked something, and that was purely my mistake. I only had to do my own thing, just as I did in the previous races, when I gave a good performance and controlled my care right up until the very last moment to cross the finish line. Of course, in Wrocław, both Danilo and his supporters were counting on winning the gold medal. Despite the fact that he experienced the agony of defeat, he considered that 2nd place was a pretty good result and was thrilled to take that medal home. I always have a feeling of incompleteness, except when I won the World Championship and set a world record. But there are always some nuances when we look back to see what we did wrong and discuss this with the coach after the fact. Of course, we have aspirations to set a new world record and to come out winners in the European and World Championships. We will also go towards this goal until we reach it. Moreover, we will not concentrate on breaking the record, but we will definitely give it our damnedest to try and set a new one. Speed climbing is now an Olympic sport. In 2020, it will be presented at the Olympic Games in Tokyo for the first time, but there are all the chances that it will also be presented in the World Games in 2021 in Birmingham, US. He wants to get anywhere and will all possible awards, but what is most important is that he knows how to achieve his goal. You need to focus on specific things. I have an excellent coach and a great team. We know what it takes to win. We will go towards victory and do whatever it takes to win. We're not afraid of the challenge. After all, it's an Olympic medal, the most prestigious award for athletes all over the world. And we will do everything we can and even more to bring home the gold. So we can only wait and see what we'll achieve in Tokyo in 2020. Danilo was born and raised in Donetsk. He had a choice of different sport to engage in. His mother, a master of sports in rhythmic gymnastics, took him to gymnastics classes. Then he went for swimming lessons, and then he tried karate. He could have succeeded in football and become a star of FC Shakhtar Donetsk, but one day he saw a rock and decided to scale it. From that day he fell in love with the sport of rock climbing. Yes, it's a relatively new sport. My family saw that I liked it. These days, parents often send their child to tennis or football sections so that they could get some benefit from their glory and earn a comfortable living and be secure later in life. My parents didn't set such a goal for me. They were firmly convinced that health and education should be the priorities for me. But when I started achieving high results in rock climbing, I decided for myself that I wanted to become a champion in this sport. Danilo's family didn't place a stake on his sport career. He engaged in sports mostly for his health. Danilo's parents were proud of his achievements, but their priorities were different. My studies always came first in my parents' eyes. Yes, it was a bit difficult, but I liked it, and I always liked difficulties, and that applied to studying as well. And quite surprisingly to me, my studies even helped me in sports, because they distracted me from athletic competition and relieved tension that might have been an obstacle if I had been engaged only in sports. Danilo's first coach, Alina Filenko, got him interested in the sport of rock climbing. Classes were interesting. Danilo also loved the training camps in Crimea, where the athletes conquered mountain peaks. Surprisingly, Danylo Boldyrev always had, and still to this very day, is afraid of heights. First, of course, you have some fear, because you're young and inexperienced. When you are into climbing for a year, 2 or 3 years, you're afraid to fall when you look down. And once you become a professional athlete in this sport, your only goal to climb this wall as fast as possible. That way, you no longer have fear and all the emotions that settle in your mind. That's when rock climbing becomes a cold-blooded process and nothing more. The career of this world record holder had been developing well until the war in the east of Ukraine broke out. In 2014, Danilo had to mature very quickly. He left his native city and moved to Odessa, where he had to start everything from scratch. I had to grow up very early because I moved there alone. My coach and mother stayed in Donetsk. I had to deal with social issues and rent an apartment. I had to grow up, become a man, take on more responsibility, and had a more severe attitude towards life. All that might have already been in me, but when I lived in Donetsk, everything was native for me. I was surrounded by my family, friends, and the team, so I can say without any doubt that there was some kind of charm and comfort for me. Representatives of the Donetsk People's Republic promised Danilo millions and the title of Hero of the DPR to convince him to stay in Donetsk and represent the DPR. However, prosperous countries also made offers to change his place of residence. But Danilo was rock solid in his decisions. He has never thought of changing citizenship, and Boldyrev doesn't like to complain. You can complain all the time, and your life will pass without a trace. So we need to look for solutions. It's the merit of the coach. The way we talk to each other, books that I read. Mike Tyson said, this is the essence of an athlete and life in general. You can complain and whine all the time, and all you like, or you can look for solutions. And the coach also always told me that life is unfair, and if you wait for some kind of handouts and believe that someone owes you something, you won't achieve success, and you will only be disappointed with yourself. Danilo is very busy with training and his competitions. He's constantly improving his skills and likes to analyze his performances, where he could have improved the result even by a millisecond. His coach, Anatoly Stolarenko, stayed in Donetsk, but even at a distance, his recommendations are of great help to Danilo. We all want a quick result, and we all train hard to achieve the result. But the winner is one who can wait, as my best friend once wrote. And it's really true. But my coach, Anatoly Stolarenko, believes it was too early for me to set the world record at the age of 22, because later there can be failures in your sport career and life in general, and you will have to accept this fact and deal with it until you overcome such hardships.
Потом, опять же, могут быть падения, и надо уметь с этим бороться. Вот.
After winning the champion's title and setting the world record, there were failures. At such moments, it's important not to stop with the feeling that everything has been achieved. You shouldn't break. It is difficult to climb to the top, but it's even harder to stay there. Danilo didn't become less motivated after his victory at the World Championship. Moving to another city from his hometown of Donetsk left its mark on Danilo. As the great coach of the boxer Lomachenko said, in order to be the best in the world, one has to do one more set and do it better than other athletes. The thought that I want to be the best probably motivated me to engage a rigorous training. So I believe that it wasn't too early, it just happened in my mind. When I moved from Donetsk, I took second, third places, and it was quite hard for me to accept because I had already become the world champion and world record holder. Well, it's alright, life is full of surprises and you should be ready, both ups and downs. The record that Danylo Boldyrev set remains intact and has not been broken by any other athlete in this sport. But Danilo is training hard and plans to improve his result. In this case, this record may not be broken for as long as the record of another legendary athlete from Donetsk. His name is Serhiy Bubka, who set the record in the pole vault 23 years ago. I think achieving the result of 5.3 to 5.4 seconds is realistic. But as you correctly said, such a record could remain unbroken as long as the record that Serhiy Bubka set, and maybe even longer. But sports records, training sessions and competitions are not the only things in the life of Danylo Boldyrev. I'm a professional in what I do because there are other things in life, and I'm already 25 years old. I can't call myself an old athlete, but I'm not that young anymore, and I have other interests. I'm interested in other sports. In addition to that, I will graduate from the University of Physical Education and Sport next year. I will be a professional coach in sports and have plans to travel to other countries to train national teams. When Danilo started to engage in rock climbing, mostly people from mountaineering or other sports worked in those spheres. Boldyrev's coach Anatoly Stolarenko is a coach of track and field athletics, but Danilo will be a specialist of a different kind after receiving a diploma. He has gone through the school of hard knocks. He knows about rock climbing not from hearsay. By the way, young athletes are already turning to Danilo asking him for his professional advice. I train a very talented athlete in Donetsk, a multiple champion among Ukrainian youth and a prize winner of European competitions. Also in Odessa, I train two girls who have the level of master of sports, and the guy with whom I train is my sparring partner. He is the world champion among youth, but they have their own head coaches. I can't say that I'm completely their coach. I'm sharing with them the experience that I have under my belt and gladly train them to become champions one day. Danilo doesn't only set records in rock climbing, he has a passion for speed in ordinary everyday life as well. However, here his drive is not as intense because he realizes that life is more precious. I love speed. Yes, I love speed and always did. When there was an opportunity to drive a car, I jumped on that opportunity, but I really appreciate life and I never want to do any bad tricks. Therefore, I always keep everything under control while driving a car. Nonetheless, I will always be a speed demon and I don't hide this fact. I like interesting races, karting races, for example. Cars are one of the favorite hobbies of this great athlete from Donetsk, although Boldyrev admits that he is interested in quite a wide variety of activities. Like any man, I am interested in cars. I follow the news about the latest car models that are released on the market. I like traveling very much. I like new places. I like speaking English with new people who live in other countries to learn how their lives carry on and what they have experienced in life. I like training in the mountains and in the forest, where you can easily find solace and the kind of solitude in nature, when you can ask yourself questions and try to reach the next level in your life on Earth. Danilo has climbed the wall thousands of times, but he prefers spending his free time in the mountains. Danilo has become so fond of mountains that during his vacation he tries to go there where he can find solitude and contemplate the meaning of life in the positive sense of this term. I love mountains and forests most of all. I like Tyrol in Austria. It's a well-known ski resort. I like the north of Italy, Riva del Garda, Campanella, where there are mountains. I like small towns with the maximum population of 10,000 people, where everything is quiet, there are waterfalls, a forest and mountain water that you can drink to your health. These are the places where you can soak up this energy, cleanse your body, clear your mind, get away from all the everyday social problems and from the hustle and bustle of the concrete jungle. The Ukrainian athlete doesn't remember how many countries he has visited, but he hasn't been to Australia and Antarctica yet, and there are places in Europe which are interesting for him to visit. I have been almost everywhere. The only places I haven't visited are Australia, Norway, Iceland and Sweden, though I would really like to go there. I want to see how people live there. I want to see those beautiful mountains. As far as I know, it's very beautiful and has its special features. I would like to see this with my own eyes. Danylo Boldyrev has a lot of dreams, starting from travels through Scandinavia to peace in Donetsk, and he wants his thoughts and dreams to materialize. Ukrainians hope that Danylo Boldyrev will one day set a new world record in his sport and win more medals. After all, he, like nobody else, truly deserves it.